going insane over the Lolbit debate. I don't know if people are colorblind, if they just pretend they are. It's orange, you It's twat. Pink. It looks orange because of the purple light. Son! It's Lolbit! Loud incorrect buzzer. Fake fan spot! As a Lolbit fan, that isn't Lolbit. Can we wait just a week more instead of arguing about this? It's the dress debate all over again. Lolbit or Mangle?
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Wait, do people seriously think this isn't Golden Freddy? Is it Golden Freddy or normal Freddy? This course is becoming the new what colors the dress.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Not again.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Golden Freddy. Yeah, it's crazy that this has happened twice with both Five Nights at Freddy's movies. Let's see if this happens with a third movie with a case of, is this character or is it this character? I'm basically making the same video that I did 2 years ago on if the Freddy in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 movie trailer is Golden Freddy or regular Freddy. So if you guys want to have a trip down memory lane, quote unquote, then make sure you check out that video. But getting back onto topic about Lolbit, so in a couple of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 promotional releases with the teasers and the behind the scenes and all that, we got some photos and footage of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 location, the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location, when it was opened during the 80s in its heyday. And in the background, on the wall next to Pirate Cove, you can see this head of what appears to be Lolbit. Or is it Lolbit? Because quite a few people actually have been saying, no, it's actually Mangle, it's just the lighting, it's clearly Mangle. Why would they put Lolbit in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie? Lolbit is from Sister Location. That head there, that does not look like Lolbit from Sister Location with the faceplates. It's just Mangle recolored. It wouldn't make sense if it was Lolbit. So in this video, I'm going to have a quick little mini analysis on if this head is most likely Lolbit, or is it Mangle? Or should I say Funtime Foxy, or Toy Foxy, or Funtime Toy Foxy, whichever one you want to say. Now I presume a lot of people who are going to be watching this video are already going to know what I'm going to be talking about, but I'll be very surprised to hear someone who doesn't. At least with the major points and facts. Now as like 90% of the people in the Five Nights at Freddy's community know, Lolbit did not first appear in Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. They debuted in FNAF World. They were an NPC who was selling the bites. And Lolbit's appearance in FNAF World was based off Funtime Foxy. Not sis location Funtime Foxy with the faceplates, but Toy Foxy, aka Fixed Mangle. So she was a straight up recolor like many of the other characters in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, like Golden Freddy, or characters in FNAF World, like White Rabbit, Red Bear, Tangle, not the Tangle, Tangle, the real Tangle. And then after her appearance in FNAF World, she appeared in Sister Location as an Easter egg in the primary control module where he might be in the same spot as Enid's mask. And then Lolbit was one of the characters in the Custom Night update for Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. And then again, she appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. And then Lolbit after that appeared in Help Wanted in the Dark Room levels in Funtime Foxy's one, but the blacklight version. And this is the first time we get to see Lolbit's full body. Although that's excluding the merchandise and FNAF World. And then after that, Lolbit just had minor roles in Security Breach. She was just on one of the arcade cabinets, and then for 5 Laps at Freddy's. And then now it looks like Lolbit's gonna appear in the FNAF 2 movie, maybe? It just being the head would make a lot of sense referencing Sister Location with the Easter egg in the primary control module. And it also makes sense for it to be a recolor of Mangle / Toy Foxy / Funtime Foxy, whichever name you want to call her, because of FNAF World, of course. But people have been saying, no, it's just the lighting, it's just the quality of the image that proves that it's actually Mangle. That's why people think it's Lolbit, but in reality, it's actually Mangle. But to me, it really doesn't look like the lighting is affecting the head at all. It really just looks orange. The head, the main white of the head, still looks mostly like a pure white. Maybe it's got a slight orange hue, but I don't really see how it could be a pink color, especially since you can see the purple light affecting the mask, the head there. You can see it affecting the orange there. At least with the FNAF 1 movie case with Golden Freddy / regular Freddy, at least Golden Freddy's color was more dark and more brownish than any other Golden Freddy that we had seen, and it was not very clear because it was very dark lighting. Here, I don't see how a pink color could be turned into an orange clearly, even on the ears there. It still looks orange there in the ears. It would be uneven on the entire mask if it was affected by the lighting, wouldn't it? Now, people have said that the cheeks and the lipstick, it looks like a red color and not like the purple that it was in FNAF World and Sis Location. I can kind of see that. It looks more like a in-between, like a magenta color to me. But in this other one, it kind of looks more purple to me. I don't know, it's kind of in between. Like the cheek kind of looks like a red. I don't know if that's like a shadow or something, but it's just so small in such a low quality that I can't really tell. Now the last thing I want to point out is the color of the light itself. It's a purple color like Lolbit's lipstick and cheeks. So that color fits more with Lolbit rather than Mangle, but still it could be Mangle, I don't really know. It's just the color of a light, so maybe this doesn't mean anything. Another thing is, why would it be Lolbit's head in the first place? Would that mean Lolbit is a character in the Five Nights at Freddy's restaurant? Maybe this was one of the new characters that was being talked about in the newspaper in the second trailer? And yeah, this is definitely possible. But then would Lolbit appear as a fully built animatronic in the movie? I don't know, maybe not. Funtime Foxy / Toy Foxy, maybe she will? So if there is that animatronic, which is pretty likely, then maybe they could swap out the parts on that one with a new shell to turn him into Lolbit, or just do it in post-FX. So there's a small possibility that Lolbit could appear, but there's also the possibility that they might not. So going down the route that Lolbit won't appear as a full animatronic, and that Lolbit is not one of the new characters mentioned in the newspaper, if that happens, then why would it be Lolbit's head in the FNAF 2 location? Why would it just be some random orange version of Funtime Foxy? It wouldn't really make sense. Now, of course, it could just simply be an Easter egg and just not be explained, kind of like what they did with Sparky and Shadow Freddy. They just weren't really explained, or at least yet. Maybe they will get a larger role and be expanded on in the second movie, or the third movie maybe, but I don't know. But if it was just Mangle's head, there wouldn't really be any other problems. Now, outside of all this, in one of the FNAF 2 promotional videos, there was one with MatPat hosting a quiz for the FNAF 2 movie cast about the FNAF franchise.
Next question, number 4. In what FNAF game did the character Lolbit make its first appearance?
And then, of course, the team carriers, Piper Rubio and McKenna Grace, got the answer correct, that it was FNAF World.
Sister location.
Sister location is correct. We don't even have to argue.
Sister location? What? Oh, I guess if we're talking mainline games, yeah, that's fair, that's fair. But the main point of this is that since they mentioned Lolbit, could that be a hint that Lolbit's gonna make a cameo in the FNAF 2 movie? And since Lolbit was in the FNAF 2 movie, it was on their mindset when making the quiz? It definitely could be, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. I still think it's a bit of a stretch. Also, in my other video predicting what characters would be in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, there was apparently one kind of like animatronic that made Piper Rubio lose her mind. Could that have been Lolbit? With the way that statement is worded, with it saying one kind of like animatronic, with the Lolbit head, it's kind of like an animatronic, it could be. But with it just being Lolbit's head, unless it's actually the full animatronic that shows up later on in the movie, I don't really see it if it's just the head. If the full animatronic does appear, then I could see it being Lolbit, but I still feel like there might be other options which would make more sense, which I talked about in that other video. Now, just like what I did 2 years ago in that Golden Freddy vs regular Freddy debate, let's go see what the community thinks on what better place than Twitter/X. Of course it's got to be there. Let's see what the community thinks. Going insane over the Lolbit debate. Color picked, by the way. Do people not notice it's a white light hitting the snout? I don't know if people are colorblind, if they just pretend they are. Looks at her even lipstick. It's purple. Does Mangle have a purple lipstick? And no, pink doesn't turn into orange. Shen, there is a purple light. Jesus. No, but it's a different head shape, so it can't possibly be a Lolbit reference. It's not white light, it's warm light. And the reason the accent's more purple in some spots is because there's literally a purple light inside and it's hitting them Lamau. You can even see the cheek is red where there's no light hitting it. It's pink, it looks orange because of the purple light. The shape of the head could just be a head for that. Like the Statue of almost said the Statue of Liberty, bro. Don't get me started on Liberty Chica. Could 100% be Mangle though. Lighting is important. I see where y'all are coming from, but I think it's just the lighting and quality of the photo. Everyone's debating about whether or not this is Lolbit, but I'm like 99% sure it is in fact Mangle, y'all. It's so clearly Mangle. I don't know how people see it's Lolbit, Lamau. This S is so annoying. It's literally Lolbit's head. Dorko and everyone said there's a bunch of secrets, so why wouldn't it be Lolbit? It's pink. It looks orange because of the purple light. The shape of the head could be just a head for that. Like the statue of Balloon Boy, there's the robot, and then there's this statue that we saw in the trailer. It's orange, you twat, son! Every time I come across a Mangle vs Lolbit post, I go, oh, looks kind of like Lolbit, but then I turn off my blue light reducer mode for my phone screen, and immediately it's, oh, that is not Lolbit, Lamau. It's Lolbit! Loud incorrect buzzer. This is Mangle, and my proof is that she has 2 faceplate thingies, and Lolbit has 1. Additionally, there are no faceplate lines. Why would it be a Funtime head? Mangle was just a recolor of Mangle in FNAF. Mangle was just a recolor of Mangle?
Really?
Lolbit was just a recolor of Mangle in FNAF World. So a Lolbit head at the FNAF 2 pizzeria would just be a recolor of Mangle's head, not a Funtime Foxy head from sister location. It could very well be lighting affecting the colors, but like... So are we ignoring FNAF World? What if it's a recolor like FNAF World? Fake fan spotted! Lolbit first appears in FNAF World as a recolor of Funtime Foxy, who became Mangle! I love how it's so obviously Lolbit, but MFs are so stubborn for no reason. Did we forget how the first movie portrayed Golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy? Originally, I thought it was a Mangle head pointing to Pirate's Cove, but this screenshot shows Pirate Cove is actually next to it, and inside of that room with the head almost looks like an arcade. Very Lolbit coded. Why is Mario there? Wait, good question. 3 words. Movie Shadow Freddy. As a Lolbit fan, that isn't Lolbit. I love how people use Lolbit first appearing FNAF World as an excuse when Balloon Boy and Shadow Freddy both appeared in the first movie. I don't understand how you're using this as evidence it's not Lolbit when Shadow Freddy appeared as an Easter egg in the first movie with classic Freddy's silhouette instead of withered Freddy. What kills me is that these people actually believe Lolbit is gonna be in a FNAF 2 film. Does look a little pink, yeah. Did trick me a few times, but I agree it's Mangle's head. Could we wait just a week more instead of arguing about this? It's the dress debate all over again. So in conclusion, is it Mangle or is it Lolbit? It could obviously be either, but I think, in my opinion, it's more likely to be Lolbit. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from people who think it's Mangle, but I think it's Lolbit because it would make more sense with it matching up with Lolbit from FNAF World, and it would also make sense with it just being the head on the wall, just like sister location, the Easter egg in the primary control module. Also, to me, it really doesn't look like the lighting is affecting this at all, unlike the first movie with Golden Freddy and regular Freddy. That is much more understandable, but this one, I think it's much more obvious that it's Lolbit compared to it being more obvious in the first movie that that was Golden Freddy. But despite that, last time I couldn't really find that many people who said that that was regular Freddy and not Golden Freddy in the trailer last time. It was mostly either people defending that it was Golden Freddy, or people complaining and talking about the design, with it being not golden enough. This time, even though I feel like it's more obviously Lolbit and not Mangle, I feel like there was a higher ratio of people saying that it was Mangle and not Lolbit, compared to the ratio of people who were saying that it was Freddy and not Golden Freddy last time. I think this situation also just shows how toxic the FNAF community has been, especially on Twitter/X. Oh, it's always been toxic to some extent everywhere, but especially on Twitter/X with this situation, I feel like it just shows how bad it's gone. People on both sides are just being really aggressive. Alright, so that's it for this debate. I feel like we're just going to have to wait for the movie to see what happens. And I'll be there when it comes out. I'm going to be watching it day one it comes out. But before that, I still got a couple more things I want to talk about with the FNAF 2 movie in the next video. So I'll see you guys there. Bye.